What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Taking a Risk with George and the family. On today's episode, did you know that you don't have to actually go into the water here at Key West to see some of the most beautiful aquatic life available? They actually have an aquarium that you can go visit, and that's what we're doing today, and you guys are coming with, so smash that thumbs up button and let's go. Great job, kiddo.
Hey, we're out the aquarium.
Wonderful, this is beautiful. It's Florida's oldest aquarium, established in 1935.
Wow,
Holy moly.
Awesome.
And this fountain is absolutely beautiful. Did you guys make a wish yet?
We did.
Very good. I know, I hope it comes true. As soon as you come in, that's so cool. Oh wow, they got little stingrays.
Look, there's a starfish.
Yeah, starfish. They got hermit crabs.
Horseshoe crabs.
Yeah, the horseshoe crab. That's so cool. Look at them all.
That's a
A two-finger touch this one. Oh wow, look at this little shrimp right here. I have a knack for catching shrimp. Oh wow, check out the size of this snail right here. Holy moly.
Put your hand in there and touch it. 2 fingers.
Oh, absolutely awesome.
You don't want to?
Check out how beautiful. It's been a while since we've been to an aquarium, and this one has to have some of the most beautiful fish that we've seen. Check that guy out. Pretty sure that's a cowfish. We were seeing those out in the water when we were just playing around out there. There were juveniles and big ones swimming around. There's a beautiful damsel fish out in the back there. How awesome. What do you think, Ev? Beautiful, huh? Yeah, there's a cowfish right here, kiddo. He's swimming around. Uh-oh, I'm being summoned.
There's a wicked fish right here.
Oh yeah, look at that thing. He's got a grumpy face.
He's mad at me.
What's he mad at? Oh look, they got a big horseshoe crab right there in the back.
Oh, there's a horseshoe crab?
Yeah, you can go touch him in the tank over there, buddy. The big one, see it?
How do we touch it though?
Oh, look at the little fish. I forgot what these guys are called. You remember what these ones are called? What a cutie pie. Look at that, not camera shy at all. Check out this cool display over here. Oh, I got this dark room all to myself. Wow, that's super cool. That looks 3D, but I'm pretty sure it's a screen. Oh no, my hand keeps going. Oh wow, that is too cool. This place has been absolutely awesome just walking in. How cool, what do you think so far?
I love this.
This is pretty.
And that room that you just came out of is literally so cool. I love how dark it is.
Yeah, it's nice and air conditioned too.
Almost like a real representation of the earth.
I'm going to take you into that dark room.
Dad, the starfish!
Show me, show me, show me. What did you find? Yeah, live starfish. How cool. This is so cool how small it is, but it feels so big and it's really pretty. Check this thing out. It looks like a sea mine. That thing looks wicked. I'm going to touch it. Ooh, those are some nice spikes. Let's do 1 finger touch on that one. Check this out. I'm being summoned over here now because there's something absolutely incredible right here. A big sea turtle and a bunch of stingrays. How cool is that? That is so pretty. Look at that. No hands in these tanks. Don't try to touch these turtles no matter how much you love them. Yeah, look at that big turtle. Check out the glow in the dark tank. They actually had to put some ultraviolet light so you could see some of these fish because they're really hard to see. And these anemones that glow. And look, there's something right there. Right there. Looks like an eel of some sort. I'm waiting for it to pop up on the screen so I can tell you guys what it's called. But there's tons of little fish in the back too. There's one. Hello, peekaboo. What we got here? Oh, and there's a little redfish. So these two tanks are actually not connected, but they're the same. A lot of the same stuff. There it is. There it is. The chain link eel. It's a nocturnal coming out at night to hunt and eat. It lives on coral reefs and is shallow, rocky shores. It can survive out of water for a short period while hunting. Holy moly. Very cool. I want to know how big it is because it doesn't look that big from here, but I wonder if it wraps around down there somewhere. Check out these giant isopods. These things come and eat whales when they fall down to the bottom of the depths. And check it out. They are not little. These things look like giant mutant lobster, like alien lobster, and this is what they eat. They eat the meat off of all of the bones of the whales that fall down, and they help clean it along with several other predators that come down here as well, which I don't think they have any other ones in here. They just have these giant isopods, but there's worms, there's other types of fish, there's crab, and bacteria, of course, and they strip the carcass bare of all meat and connective tissue and whatever they can. How absolutely wild. Here's what it actually looks like in action. Check it out. You've got, looks like octopus on there. Depending on the size, a whale fall can provide food and habitat for years, even decades. Holy moly. That is absolutely wild. And they literally strip all organic compound off of the bones. Whale falls support dense populations. That is wild. And I just read that these things are cousin to the tiny little pill bugs that we have here above the water that Evelyn and Yasmin used to love collecting. So how crazy. This is an example of ocean gigantism because things can grow really big down there. Check out the beautiful lionfish. Holy moly, there's tons of them. And this fish was actually featured in one of my favorite movies. Name that movie if you know it. It was turned into a spicy margarita. And check out all of the starfish. Holy moly, I don't know if those are real or not, but there's lots of them in here.
Those are chocolate chip starfish.
Yeah, are they really? Wow, thank you for telling us. That is so cool. That is too beautiful. When we were growing up, we were always told that these are poisonous, but I don't know if that's the truth anymore.
Lionfish are venomous, not poisonous.
Very cool. That's why they have no predators, right? And that's why they're able to outcompete and outgrow all the populations in their ecosystem. I don't know what this is, but look at it. Oh, it's a jellyfish and it's upside down. Oh, it's trying its best. Hopefully it'll flip itself back over. I don't think that there's anything else in this tank except for that. Can't see the rest of it. It's blocked off by the wall, but yeah, that's one little jellyfish. And then over here, we've got some more of those beautiful glow-in-the-dark anemones. And look at the size of that shrimp right there. Holy moly, that thing is massive.
That must be the...
It just looks massive, but it's still just a shrimp.
That's a snapping shrimp, I think.
And then right over here, we've got one of my favorites, the seahorse. And I don't know, the honey was asking me if those are baby seahorse floating around. I'm not sure. I think they're sea monkeys.
Yeah, I don't think that...
They're all eating them. Even the seahorse are eating them, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, even the seahorse are eating them.
There's one right there. He's about to eat it. No, not this time.
And they're like being so picky about which one.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's kind of cool.
But the fish are eating them and the seahorses are eating them. Very cool. Check out my little shrimp with this giant fish. Holy moly, that thing is massive. That thing is bigger than you and it probably weighs as much as I do. And look at those teeth. What a gnarly bite that thing would have. Yeah, he wants your leaf. Your beautiful leaf that you got. Look at her crabbing around. You are so cute, kiddo. Look at him watching you. He wants it. Oh my goodness, and right behind it, look at the size of that eel. These are giants, and that's actually one that chased me in Hawaii one time. We were snorkeling in Hanauma Bay, and we were chasing some fish, and I just happened to turn around because I felt something like right between my legs. I just felt like the water move. And I turned around and one of those was right between my legs swimming. And as soon as I turned around, it started going the other way. And then I started following it. Absolutely beautiful. Check out over here. They have a queen triggerfish. Oh, look how pretty she is. Oh, look, she's waving goodbye to us as she swims away. How beautiful. So so pretty. Oh, look at her blending in with your shirt.
Did you know that the queen triggerfish can make noise using a membrane behind their pectoral fin?
Oh, wow. Very cool. Look at her, what she found. She found dinner tonight. Oh, wow, there's lots of them. Some beautiful lobster. I'm being pulled in all which ways directions. These kids are so excited to show me the cool things they're finding. I'm coming, but I want to show everybody this big old crab. I think that's a spider crab, and it's beautiful. I don't know if there's more than one in there, but this whole tank is gorgeous. That white and black fish is absolutely beautiful. How cool. Check out this tank. They're trying to create a cyclone in there or something. And look at the shrimp on the bottom. That's what we've been using to fish with lately. Just about every morning they bring some live shrimp bait to the RV park. And you can buy a dozen for $4, which is actually pretty good and pretty convenient. And they work so well. A lot of the fish, that's what they eat out here is shrimp. Check out this tank. You got the spotted scorpion fish. Holy moly, those things are crazy. Oh, it's ready to attack.
Is that a scorpion fish?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Beautiful. Check it out. I just noticed that there is I thought it was a hammerhead, but there's actually a lady that was helping us. She was giving us all kinds of information. This is a bonnethead shark, and they don't get too much bigger than that. Only about maybe 6 more inches, if that. And they're just as dangerous, so don't go playing with them. I know they're super cute. But I just found out that this is Hector, and he is about 60 to 70 years old, and he has some gastric issues, which is why his back end keeps floating up. So he'll keep putting his tail above water to try and get the gas to move up. That way he can finally sink back down. And because of his issue, there he goes. See, his head goes down, but his butt goes up. It would make him easy pickings for a shark. So he's actually here as a permanent resident to help protect him. And there's also several others. And he's a hawksbill turtle. And check it out, they do have an outside portion as well, and it leads you right to a giant cruise ship, which I don't know what cruise ship that is. Every day we come here, there's a new cruise ship, which is absolutely awesome. And supposedly there's another turtle out here somewhere. She's about 200 pounds, and we're looking for her. They're gonna go feed something over there. She's got one more quarter. What's up?
I want to go on a cruise ship. So in the comments, tell me which one is the best cruise ship to go on.
Disney Cruise.
I literally want to go.
Disney Cruise. And since you're a travel agent, you could plan our Disney Cruise adventure, and that would be absolutely awesome. Oh, I thought that was a torpedo down there for a second. There it is, the Sea Turtle Conservation Tour. I'd love to catch that, but they're more excited to feed all these fish over here. Oh yeah, look at how pretty. That is too cool. Oh, there they go. They're throwing them in. They're causing a feeding frenzy. There's a better look at this cruise ship. Well, maybe not, at least the name at least, but the Celebrity Silhouette. I've never heard of that. I don't even know what company this is, but that looks absolutely gorgeous. I'd love to take a tour of all of these cruise ships out here. I wonder who I need to talk to get that hooked up. That would be absolutely wonderful. What a beautiful day. Uh-oh, we're missing the turtle tour, but check this out. The leatherback sea turtle can get up to 7 feet, I guess, long. They're not really tall, but how cool is that? All right, we just made it to the turtle tour. Oh, I see right there, and there's a giant shark at the bottom as well.
Maybe she's not. Oh, she's right here. She's in the shallow end. What? She's snapping too. She's got her eyeballs closed. So she's in the shallow end today.
Wow.
That's a new nap spot for Spike in the shallows. So she's in the shallow end over here. But so she's missing a majority out of 3 of her 4 flippers. She's also got a crack in her beak. And Spike was found this way. She was found in the Key Largo Marina in 1999 with her injuries. When the rescuers stumbled upon her, there was no signs of entanglement, predator bite, vessel strike, nothing. Just a 4.5-inch little sea turtle floating in a marina. So she was put through rehab at the Marathon Sea Turtle Hospital. But after about 3.5 months, it was clear that she was going to be deemed non-releasable. When sea turtles are in rehab, they kind of go through swim tests, if you'd like to call it. So can they avoid predators? Can they swim through obstacles? Can they chase food? They kind of put them through a big water tunnel that mimics water currents to see if they can fight the water current. All these tests mimic life in the wild. to know if a rehabilitated sea turtle has those fight or flight instincts needed to survive in the wild. Spike did not pass her swim tests, so she was deemed non-releasable and came to live with us shortly after. But she's an amazing ambassador for her species, for that loggerhead species. Florida and loggerheads have a really unique relationship. Florida is home to 90% of nesting loggerheads in North America. That actually makes up 40% of nesting loggerheads in the world. So we have a lot of nesting loggerheads that rely on Florida beaches. Here in about a month, we actually start nesting season. Mid-April is when we start nesting season for sea turtles. So we want to make sure that we keep our beaches clean. There's a big campaign, Leave No Trace. So what we take to the beach, make sure we leave with it. We want to make sure our sea turtles never know when we're on our beaches. If you're walking the beaches at night, try to avoid using white light. Try to use amber or red light. Sea turtles follow the brightest thing in the sky, which should be the moon. But if you're walking there with a white flashlight, sea turtles, mama sea turtles, and hatchlings can get disoriented by that white light. So if you live by the beach too, make sure during nesting season, you change your porch lights to amber or red lights. It really does help. We have a lot of light pollution. But that's a little bit about spike and loggerheads. I know I went a little bit on a tangent about nesting.
3 out of 8.
Two sea turtles. So in this first oval pool, we have our hawksbill sea turtle. This is Hector. He is actually our oldest sea turtle that we have here at the aquarium. Second oldest resident. He came to live with us in 1973, which is pretty crazy to think about. The hawksbill sea turtles get their name from the shape of their beak. So when you look at it, it's kind of hook-shaped, slender, kind of resembles that of a hawk or a bird of prey. So that's how they get their name, hawksbill. And they have this beak shape, this hook-shaped beak, because they will actually scrape and forage for sponges out on the reef. So they have to be able to get into all those little nooks and crannies in the rocks to get all those sponges. One hawksbill out in the wild is actually responsible for eating about 1,200 pounds of sponge a year. So they're eating a lot of sponge. Now, why are they really important for eating that sponge? Sponge and coral directly compete for space out on the reef. So we need big consumers, we call them spongivores. We need big spongivores like our hawksbill sea turtles to keep that sponge population down so we have a coral reef instead of a sponge reef. We want both, but we like our corals, right? Much better to go see a coral reef. Even though sponges do a lot for us, corals are really pretty to see too. Now Hector, he has a really cool story of how he came to live with us. Is anybody familiar with the pattern tortoiseshell? I know your sunglasses kind of red, your glasses are kind of that pattern. Yeah, so it's that brown pattern with the black speckles. My hair clip is that pattern as well. So luckily now we have this really cool thing called plastic or resin that most things are made out of. Prior to things being made out of those materials, if you wanted something made that was tortoiseshell pattern, it came from a hawksbill sea turtle. So you see this pretty pattern on his shell? That's the pattern tortoiseshell. Didn't come from tortoises, came from a hawksbill sea turtle. So it was completely legal in the States to harvest sea turtles and use them not only for their shells, but they would use sea turtles like the one I'm going to talk about next, use their meat for hair clips, sunglasses, but then they would also use their meat for soup. Kind of crazy, right? Well, here in Key West, we actually have a huge turtle market. So instead of fishermen going out and collecting fish, they would go get a sea turtle, bring it back, put it into something called a turtle crawl, which essentially means a turtle holding pool. And that turtle would await harvesting for his shell or for his meat. And that's what, it was just a big thing. That's what we did. Luckily, here in the United States, we have something called the Endangered Species Act. This makes it illegal to harm, harass, touch, poach, approach, feed any endangered species. turtles. So here in the Key West, our turtle crawls, our turtle factory, was shut down because it was illegal. You couldn't harm it or turn them into soup anymore. 1973 is when the Endangered Species Act was passed. So those crawls and the factory were shut down. However, the crawls were holding pools. So there were some sea turtles that had been there for a while. Hector was one of those sea turtles who had been there for a while. So the government came down and deemed him a non-releasable turtle, deemed us a sea turtle holding facility, and we were just kind of in the right place at the right time, and Hector came to live with us in 1973. So we can play my favorite game, How Old is Hector? Well, he came to us when he was about the size of a dinner plate. So our rough estimate is maybe 60s, maybe 70s, but we really don't know. If you say an age above 55, well, let's keep it maybe under 100, that's a great guess. Between 55 and 100, great guess.
He's a perfect
There's
Florida
only two
resident.
ways to know a sea turtle's exact age. The first way is you know their hatch date, so you know their birthday. The second way is once a sea turtle passes away, you can remove their humerus, and you can count the rings on it, like the rings of a tree trunk. Until that point, we just have how long he's been here and social cues to go off of. So 60s-ish, 70s-ish. But what is really cool about that, put on science thinking caps, right? Hawksbills are what we consider a critically endangered species. So their populations all over the world are very, very limited. There's not a lot of them out there. So when we look to do age graphs, population studies, scientists go for loggerheads or green sea turtles because there's a lot more of them. There's more abundance of them. So not a lot of studies are done of how long a hawksbill can live to be. Right now it's between 50 and 100 years. And so Hector is either middle-aged or he's really old. So having him here is maybe will provide one of those really, really top-end numbers of how long a hawksbill can truly live to be. This is something really cool to have Hector here. And also there's not a lot of hawksbills. The past 2 nesting seasons in Florida, there have been 0 nesting hawksbills.
Oh.
So I'm not saying they're not out there, they're just very few and far between. It's really, we got 4 out of 5. We got a lot of sea turtles to get through. Our next one is going to be Rocky. Rocky is a green sea turtle. He's going to be the one sleeping right now. And when you look at him, you're probably thinking, that's not a green turtle. Whenever I think of turtle, I think bright lime green, right? Well, green sea turtles, they don't get their name from their outside color. They get their name from their inside color. So remember how I talked about making sea turtle soup? So through that process, we found that green sea turtles, their insides are green. So when a green sea turtle is first born, they're what we call omnivores, which essentially means they will eat anything that fits in their mouth. Toddlers, right? They put anything in their mouth they like to try, or dogs. So once they hit about 8 to 10 inches in length, they will switch to a herbivore diet. So seagrass, sea algae, and all that green stuff dyes their fatty tissues green. So that's how they get their name, green sea turtle. Now because they spend most of their life eating seagrass, they spend most of their life on seagrass beds. Seagrass beds are in shallow water because that's exposed to sunlight. So green sea turtles' number 1 threat is vessel strikes, boat strikes. And that's exactly what happened to Rocky here. In 1999, he was hit by a boat, and he lost that front right flipper, and he also got severe trauma to his shell. Essentially, the boat hit his shell. Luckily, his external shell healed. You really can't see much damage to his shell. But what we can't see is the inside of the shell. Any kind of trauma that forms to a sea turtle's shell, they form an air pocket. So he has something called positive buoyancy syndrome, floater syndrome, or what we like to call bubble butt. So when he first came to us, he kind of looked like Hector with his butt floating. But it's because Rocky actually has an air pocket trapped in his shell. It is a permanent condition, which makes Rocky a non-releasable turtle. So when he came to live with us, we actually added his as a counterbalance for the air pocket. So kind of brings his butt neutral. And then on his shoulders, he has a float. That's the black box. And that float helps bring his head and shoulders to the surface. Think of it kind of like a life jacket. Life jackets for us keep our head above the surface. Rocky's life jacket helps bring his head to the surface. Yeah, so it's kind of, he's got one weight. So sea turtles, their front flippers are actually their power flippers. They just use their back flippers kind of like rudders to give them direction. So their front flippers are their power strip. If you're missing one, and you've already got a floating belly, it's very hard to get up to the surface sometimes. So that float just gives them a little bit of extra support and extra lift to get up to the surface. Now these devices are what we consider semi-permanent as Rocky grows. They will need to grow and be adjusted with him. Right now he's about 35. He's 125 pounds. He has the potential to live 80 to 90 years and grow to be 350 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So he's got a lot more life and a lot more growing left to do. But if you see what he's doing right now, taking a turtle nap at the bottom. We want to see him be able to do that. But we also want to see him be able to come up to the surface and take a breath of air with ease. And then we know his flow and his weight are adjusted correctly. A while. Rocky can go about 2 hours holding his breath. We always ask how long can Rocky hold his breath. But it kind of depends on the turtle as well. Lola, our other sea turtle, is about 70 pounds, so her lung capacity is a little bit different than Rocky's. Just like me and you, our breath hold is going to be a little bit different depending on each person. It's a little bit different depending on each sea turtle. So kind of cool. Lola is a Rizk sea turtle.
This is Lola over here.
The smallest species of sea turtle, as well as the lightest in color. And they will only get to be about 70 to 100 pounds fully grown. Right now, Lola's sitting at 70 pounds, so she's almost fully grown. She's only got a little bit more growing to do. Now, Lola was found in 2002 in Mustang, Texas. She was found washed up on the beach with fishing line wrapped around her front right flipper. Really weak, really lethargic. But that fishing line was wrapped around her front right flipper so badly that they did have to surgically amputate her front right flipper. So she was in rehabilitation for about 11 months. After those 11 months, she passed all of her swim tests. So she was releasable. So they released Miss Lola. However, 3 days later, they found Lola again. So they took her in, started giving her fluids, hydration, food, pumping every blood, and she was on the docket to be released again. However, Texas started to develop a cold stunning event. When sea turtles get too cold, too quickly, when the air and the water become too cold for sea turtles, they can get very lethargic. And some sea turtles, especially smaller sea turtles, have the potential to actually drown themselves because they're so lethargic. Sea turtles are what we call conscious breathers. So we are not telling ourselves to breathe. We just unconsciously do it. Sea turtles consciously tell themselves, oh, I'm going to go back up to the surface. So when they're too tired and it's too cold for them, they don't tell themselves to do that. So then their lungs fill with water. So Texas had a huge influx of these cold-stunning turtles, these weak, lethargic turtles. So any sea turtle that was about to be released was actually held back because they didn't want to release the cold-stunning event, right? That doesn't make sense. Well, Lola was held back, and she actually developed a gastrointestinal float, which meant Lola could not die. One of the things you need to do in order to be released is be able to die. So she was deemed not releasable shortly after. Now, Lola is a pretty big celebrity, I think. She was the first sea turtle in the United States to actually receive a prosthetic flipper. There's a few photos of her wearing her prosthetic.
Oh, there she is.
And if you go out back, there's actually a storyboard out there that tells you a little bit about the student from which we call Hector, who came down, did x-rays, and really created this one-of-a-kind prosthetic flipper for Lola. In 2018, a man by the name Dr. Kevin Carroll came down with a third group of students. This was a 3-generation project. Came down with a group of students and actually created something that we call a biomimetic prosthetic. So it's a prosthetic that mimics Lola's biology to mimic her power stroke.
The ocean.
So if they are bombarded by trash, they will think that the beach is not safe and they won't lay their eggs.
Oh.
Yeah, so we want to make sure our beaches are kept nice and clean, our trash is kept nice and clean. So remember, we always say, I'm one person, what can one person do, right? One person slow down, Rocky will still be a while.
Yeah.
One person properly recycling their fishing line, Lola will still be a while. So one person really does make a big difference, especially about any time. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to come over and ask. I really enjoyed speaking with you. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, you're wonderful. That was a wonderful presentation about the turtles, but I just found out that this is called a spotted drumfish. I've been wondering and I finally caught the name on the board there. Absolutely wonderful. Such a beautiful fish. I've never seen anything like it before. And that's going to be it for today's aquarium video. That was absolutely wonderful. So many beautiful creatures in there, and that sea turtle tour was one of a kind. I actually really enjoyed that, and I hope you guys did as well. So don't forget to like this video, make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications, and don't forget to check the description down below. There's 3 other links where you'll see additional content that you won't see here on TakingARizk YouTube. I think we're done with that for today, and we're going to head to this mall entrance, so make sure you check out tomorrow's video as well. I love you all, and I'll catch you in the next one.